Hey. If you're watching on the live stream, would you just say hello? It's always good to make sure that the microphone's working and that everything is rolling. I wanted to jump on a stream just to share some insights as I'm setting up GA4 to truly optimize the signals that are sent to Google Ads. Most dealers don't have GA4 set up properly. And so, as I'm working with some of my clients to get their Google Analytics set up properly, to set new standards for their agencies to use, I thought I would share just a couple insights and then actually go into Google Analytics and show you exactly where these custom ASC events could be created, or custom events based on the ASC standard will help dealers optimize their Google ads. So if you are watching this, just the question is, do you want to keep on wasting money with your automotive Google ads, or do you want to optimize your Google ads? If you want to, raise your hand, say hello in the comments, whether it's live or later. I will be exporting this video and posting it as well. But those of you who may be watching live, say hello. All right, let's dive in. Let me set the context. This will not be a long video. Google Ads, since we are not in the e-commerce business where an ad click goes into a website and fills a shopping cart and a purchase is made, we need to send Google Ads signals that would tell Google that the click was valuable. So in e-commerce, when someone pays $5 for a click, what they're weighing is how many of those clicks turned into a customer that bought something, how much did they purchase, and the return on ad spend is relatively easy to calculate. In automotive, we get a lead at best. That could be a chat message where someone's interested in buying a car or servicing their car, a phone call, a lead form. Maybe those lead forms can be broken up into a trade lead or a digital retailing lead or some type of finance lead. But lead forms, phone calls, chats, and texts are really the hard conversions where PII can be exchanged. But that in itself may not be enough signals because website conversion rates are so low that you want to start to build other events, which I've called soft conversions, based off the ASC standard to show engagement. Now, this is very important. Visiting a VDP is not engagement. Visiting the hours and directions page isn't an engagement. Visiting a page and not doing anything on that page, whatever the page is likely not, in my book, a signal of an engaged shopper because you can send an ad click to any page on a dealer's website. So since the ASC, the Automotive Standards Council, has made a library of events, there's about 35 events, and each event has a series of parameters. If you understand the events and those parameters, you actually can start to make some pretty sophisticated derivative events, and I'm going to call these custom events, that can measure engagement. I'm going to show you how to create an engagement event for Trade Pending, their trade tool, how to make an engagement event for Gabagoo Chat and Gabagoo VR because the client website analytics account uses those tools. But this would apply to CarNow or Roadster for DR. It would apply to any chat platform that is throwing ASC events like Dealer Inspire Conversations or CarNow Chat. It would apply to any trade tool that's sending ASC events that are compliant. So the key here is to make sure that the tools on your websites are abiding by the ASC standard. Now, in my investigation, working with setting up what I'm going to call the best in class design for Google Ads, I found that some of the vendors are not following the ASC specification to the letter. And of course, I'm escalating those issues with those teams. At the next ASC council meeting, which will be coming up in the next week or so, I will be sharing some of my research and sharing in detail the blueprint that I'm developing to help dealers optimize their Google ads. The good news is that this blueprint can be used by any agency. And once you see the blueprint, then you'll understand why it's so important. If an agency argues with you and says, no, I want to mark ASC click to call as a conversion, or a VDP view as a conversion, I think it's time to get a new agency, because they surely don't understand the difference between a page view and an engaged shopper. Um, we don't use click to call because we have call outcomes now available from Car Wars, Call Review, Marchex, Invoca, and others. We don't waste money, especially in today's environment, when we can get more granular data on what happens in a chat session, what happens in a text session, what happens in a DR session. But here's the key before we go into analytics and I start to show you things. The ASC event parameters help us understand how someone moves through a tool. The event is called ASC retail process. In a chat tool, it would be ASC com engagement. And the idea here is, um, in a DR tool, someone may be asked to unlock the tool right at the beginning. And if they don't want to give their information, they leave. The ASC events really can't help you. But if it's not unlocked and you ask someone to put in their zip code and they hit proceed, and then they pick out maybe lease or finance down payment, if maybe the third or fourth step, they are asked to give their information and they don't want to give it and they leave, wouldn't you agree with me that that's an engaged shopper if someone moved through a retail process? Now, what's a retail process? A trade workflow, a DR workflow, a service appointment scheduling workflow. You should know that a lot of people abandon a service scheduling workflow. They start it and now halfway through they just abandon it. Thankfully, with ASC events, we can create derivative engaged events, mark them as conversions, or in the sense, key events that will be used as a conversion. Meaning, you have hard conversions where people give their name, email address, and phone. But let's create some engaged events that we can mark as a conversion. Okay. So this is super important that we understand how to do it based on the ASC specification. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize myself and put myself in the corner. And I'm here on a Honda dealer website. And I'm assuming that people can see this screen. I'm going to just make it just a little bit bigger um, for visibility purposes. And if you can see this okay, please bear with me. It is just a matter of, let's see if I can make it just a little bit bigger. Let's see. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, good. Here we go. All right, just follow along with me, and I apologize if my eyes are going somewhere else. Okay, so notice in the admin panel, so I just click on the admin panel, and this is the information that comes up. Under data display, you have events and conversions. Let's take a look at what is currently marked as a conversion. So when you do this on your account, you're going to be shocked at all the crap that's marked as a conversion. But these are hard conversion. ASC com submission parts. That means a chat lead for parts. ASC com submission sales, a chat lead for sales. ASC com submission service, a chat lead for service. ASC com submission service appointment, a chat lead for service appointment. Don't worry that some of these are zero because they were just turned on recently and it's a brand new website as well. ASC form submission parts, a parts lead form. ASC form submission sales. You get the idea. These are all hard conversions, almost all. Let's just scroll through them. Okay. But you will see that there's a new event here, Custom Engaged Trade Shopper TP. That TP stands for trade pending. There will be a few more showing up tomorrow as I've made these custom events. So, first of all, your conversions should be hard conversions plus soft conversions, which are truly soft conversions, not a VDP view, not the crap that is there all the time. How do you create a custom event? If you go to events, and you'll see all the crappy events that are being fired here. I won't get into that, but let's click on create an event, and you'll see that I've created custom engaged trade tool, and I put TP for trade pending because, believe it or not, until we police everyone, some people are using non-standard naming. So custom engaged trade tool means someone who started a trade tool but may not have provided their PII. This is very important. If somebody starts the trade process and picks their year, make, and model and mileage, I consider that an engaged shopper. If they didn't want to give their information, that's not the marketing campaign's problem. They did bring a qualified shopper. Can I get an amen? Now, here's another one. Custom engaged service chat gabagoo. This is somebody who may not have given the operator their contact information, but they definitely were talking about booking a service or questions about service. Custom engaged sales chat gabagoo. This is somebody who, again, was engaged with chat about a sales conversation. It may not have resulted in a lead, but it wasn't. Here's the key: it wasn't that chat started. This is very important. It wasn't that they clicked the chat button. They had to do something in the chat tool. This is a big distinction. And then custom engaged DR tool, Gabagoo. This is somebody who went through the DR process. For example, what are we talking about? There may be 600 people who started a DR process by clicking a CTA button, but there may have only been 100 people who did anything meaningful that you would call it engaged. You with me? Hard conversions are those who gave their information. Engaged or soft conversions are people who've done some meaningful things. What this allows you to do, custom events, and let me just click on this trade event. You can call it whatever you like. And what did I say? Remember, ASC retail process is for trade tools, service schedulers, and DR tools. So if the event name equals ASC retail process, and if the flow outcome equals vehicle selected. Now, flow outcome is one of those parameters. Flow outcome is used by the software companies to show steps. And there is a flow outcome called vehicle selected, meaning they put in their vehicle information. For me, this is an engaged shopper. And if the event owner equals trade pending. Now, theoretically, this could just be custom engaged trade tool if every trade vendor followed all of the ASC specifications. In this particular case, trade pending is not following the ASC specification because there are no values that have spaces. Yet, I made this event underscore TP to make up for trade pending's current lack of compliance. And of course, I'll be sharing this with them. But right now, there's no holding me back from creating an event that records someone who has engaged in the trade tool. And then what I did here is I copy the parameters, all the other parameters from the original event. I just overwrite who created this new event. Event owner is Brian underscore Pash, right? Okay. This way, I'm not saying, in this case, this is a Dealer Inspire website. I'm not saying Dealer Inspire created this event. I'm saying Brian Pash created this event. This is how you create a derivative event using the ASC specification to show engagement. The cool thing is if you want to use this general framework, these three dots up here, you could copy this and use some of the logic to save typing. I found that out as well. Let's look at this one, custom engaged service. This is Gubagoo. Okay, so if the event name is ASC Com engagement, Com is for texting and chatting. If the event owner equals Gubagoo, if the com status equals start, that means they actually started to engage. It wasn't the autoresponder, it wasn't the auto attendant. They had to do something. This is a significant lower. Like if 400 people, if 400 users did com engagement, maybe only 100 actually do the start and department equals service. Notice I added in the department because I want to create engagement events for service and sales. Oh, what do you mean by that? I'm not I'm not bundling everything up. I'm only using sales conversions for sales campaigns and service conversions for service campaigns. So what is this? This is somebody who chose to say, "Hey, I'm interested in service," and started something with the operator. I consider that an engaged person. Now, we don't have to weight this event as high as a lead, like ASC com submission service. That would be a service lead, but it is an engaged event. Here's a DR tool, Gubagoo DR. Their tool's actually VR, but it's general. Event name, ASC retail process, event owner equals, now watch it, ignore case. Why did I do this? Because again, I got to talk with Gubagoo. Some of their event owner, they're capital G and some is lowercase g. So you would do ignore case. And then there are a couple flow outcomes that are worthy of saying that they did something in the DR tool. So I'm using a regular expression. This is basically saying if the flow outcome is start or proceed or success or submit, count it as an engaged DR shopper. So I mark these events as conversion events. Watch. So if I go into events, these are all the events, and I go to the search bar and I type in the word custom, then it will show the custom events that are firing. And you notice I turn it on. Since I just created these events today, I won't see data until tomorrow. And as soon as the data is there, I will turn them on. Okay. So I hope you're seeing something favorable here. Let's go back. Take a minute to click on the admin, go to conversions and see what your agency or someone in your dealership turned on as conversion. If you have page view, VDP view, direction page, click to call, you are wasting money in Google Ads. You should be turning on voice conversions by department, form conversions by department, com, which is chat or text, conversions by department. And then you should be creating engaged events. Now, what type of engagement events? I showed you chat, I showed you trade, I showed you digital retailing, which could be done for all vendors who support the ASC spec. You may also consider if someone plays a video, okay? That's the ASC media interaction event. Or if somebody goes through a number of photos in a photo gallery, or someone who spins a car, you might say, hey, if I can get somebody to click on an ad in Google and come and look at the car and spin around, that's an engaged shopper. Then that could be custom, engaged, um, spin shopper. You could create a custom event, spin shopper, or custom underscore engage underscore photo gallery, something like that. The idea is by narrowing your signals back to Google Ads on hard conversions and engagement events, you will completely change to in a positive way the outcomes that Google gives you because you're not watering it down with crap. Now, here's the good news. If you want to get your Google Ads accounts set up properly, I'm working with a few larger dealer groups because it seems that no one wants to have the patience to do this. And of course, as one of the founders of the ASC standard, I'm trying to make sure that our vendors who are members are using compliant parameters and events. It's not easy work, but we're doing it. I'm going to put together a whole training on this at the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference in Austin, June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Dealers who are watching this video, marketing directors, someone in your dealership needs to know how to set up the conversion signals for your Google Ads campaigns. You might say, Brian, I'm trusting my agency to do that. And I'm just going to tell you, if you want to waste thousands of dollars a month, go ahead and do it. Or I'd rather you spend $500 to come down to DMSC and learn and inspect and configure and optimize. Some dealers are spending tens of thousands of dollars a month across their group or even big power stores. The amount of waste from Google Ads is horrible because you're sending Google the wrong signals. With the ASC standard, we can select conversion events as being hard conversions and engaged shoppers. Those engaged shoppers can be for service, sales, or parts. The key here is making sure your vendors are supporting the ASC events. The good news is the Reynolds Service Scheduler will be ready this month to fully support ASC events and identity, which is fabulous. Most all digital retailing tools, I'm working with the Darwin team to correct a few things. I'm working with the Gubagoo team to correct a few things, but fundamentally, they're firing the right events. They're just not always firing all the right parameters. So there's really no reason for you to align yourself with getting your Google Ads investments optimized because it's oftentimes one of your largest spends. So don't use ASC Collect to Call. Call up Car Wars, Car Review, Marchex, Invoca. There's a number of companies that support the ASC spec. All of those events that you saw in this dealer, those voice events were all from Call Review. Um, it's fantastic when you see the ASC events firing properly for all conversion channels and all engagement channels. So, um, listen, if you want to come out to the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference, it's just not about fixing Google Ads. It's going to be learning about the latest first party data management strategies, how to improve your data hygiene, because you should know that about 40% of the data in your DMS is outdated or incorrect. You're going to be learning about customer data platforms and marketing automation. There's some amazing tools that automate marketing with new AI capabilities, with better data intelligence and personalization. We have more tools coming to market, help organize, unify, and update your customer data every day. We're going to be talking about new AI communications in the workflow of your sales process and leads. We're going to be talking about updates and API connections. I mean, this is the Davos of automotive digital marketing, marketing automation, AI, and customer data platforms. But a lot of it comes down to a core understanding about how to set up Google Analytics. And just one other thing, I'm also putting together a compliance panel. There's been a lot of concerns about how to set up Google Analytics properly, especially with a California litigious state culture, and the impact of shutting down or potentially shutting down Google Analytics and its massive impact that would have on your Google ad spending and other measurements, especially your CDP, identity resolution. There's a lot of implications. So I'm going to be putting together a few of the top compliance experts for automotive, come out to DMSC, and then you'll be able to not only learn, get some direction on what your dealership should do, but also have some one-on-one conversations with compliance experts that are familiar specifically with automotive, the recent lawsuits surrounding the use of Google Analytics. And well, this is a strategic event. So I'll put the link for the conference in the chat. There it is. Okay. And I encourage you to consider what it would look like to get your team out at DMSC. Finally, I'm talking about thousands of dollars a year, for some dealers, tens of thousands, for some dealers, hundreds of thousands of dollars in performance improvements. If you just understood the full potential of the ASC specification for Google Analytics and how to set up hard and soft conversions based on real engagement, not crap. And then more importantly, how a full data strategy can help reach your business objectives, especially in a difficult year. This is an advanced conference. This is for people who want to elevate their sales outcomes, elevate their profitability, elevate their customer experience, and have a data-centric mindset. So the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference in Austin, Texas, June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We lowered our ticket prices this year to open it up to more people. We have 2-for-1 ticket offers for dealer groups who want to bring more than one person out to the show. So if you have any questions, just reach out to me on any of the social media channels or just call Dawn Pash at our corporate office. I'll throw in that phone number there. That is 732 450 8200. And that will give you ability to contact Dawn Pash and ask her about DMSE tickets. Please share this video with your colleagues. You should know how to check what conversion events are set in GA4. You should know how to create derivative events that show engagement. And you should only be using sales conversions for sales campaigns and service conversions for service campaigns. Don't let anybody tell you the easy way out is to use all form conversions or all voice conversions or all chat conversions to optimize your sales campaigns. I don't care who they are. It's not based on fact. It's based on a lazy approach to data and vendors. Either get your vendors on board or fire them and use vendors that support a fully transparent specification. It's that simple. It's either waste money and make excuses or get things set up properly and really optimize your digital ad strategy. And those of you who have CDPs, if your vendors aren't firing the right ASC events with the right parameters, that means your CDP is not getting all the rich signals it should, so you can create engaged audiences inside your CDP to do marketing activation outside of Google Ads. It's all connected. For some of you, I may be talking in a different language, and okay, um, this is maybe a little too technical for some people, but understand the importance of getting your ad targeting, your engagement signals right to do a better job of marketing, personalization, and improving the customer experience. Everyone can understand that. That's why you should send someone down to the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference. If you have any questions, reach out to me on social media. I hope this video encouraged you to look into your GA4 account today and fix the signals you're sending into Google Ads.